most mysterious and least understood marketing channels in all of real estate wholesaling. This is pre-foreclosures. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to wholesale pre-foreclosures in 10 easy steps. So stay tuned and let's get into it. Hey guys, Zach in here from Flip with Rick. We are going to go over pre-foreclosures today. It is the most unknown and least educated topics among wholesalers when it comes to marketing. And I really want to shed some light onto this marketing channel and help you get your first deal using pre-foreclosures. So what is a pre-foreclosure? So everybody knows what a foreclosure is. A foreclosure is basically when the bank is taking over the property. There's nothing we can do during a foreclosure. I see guys trying to cold call foreclosure lists. I'm like, the bank is taking it over. There's nothing you can really do in the foreclosure, but the opportunity arises in your market during the pre-foreclosure, which is before the foreclosure. So that is where we want to be. Why am I talking about pre-foreclosures? There is going to be a huge spike from this coronavirus pandemic. Unfortunately, most people that are just living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, they are not going to be able to pay their mortgage and they're going to be behind. You know, the forbearance is going to come up. It's going to get a little stressful. And unfortunately, we're going to have a huge spike in pre-foreclosures. And that is an opportunity for us wholesalers to make a good, easy, and consistent marketing stream for getting deals. So a pre-foreclosure is basically when someone is 2 to 3 payments behind on their mortgage, which is 2 to 3 months. And they're not paying it for whatever reason. So maybe they're the coronavirus and they lost their job. They're getting a divorce. We're seeing huge divorce spike rates from this coronavirus. You know, there's could be a million things that causes someone to make a pre-foreclosure. And all this huge array of things that someone can't pay their mortgage, 2 to 3 months, they start popping up on lists. So they get on the bank's radar like, hey, it's been 2 to 3 payments. This is not good. We're going to put you on a list. And people like Equifax, ListSource, you know, they take all this information and they sell it. And we buy the information and then we market to it. So I love pre-foreclosure so much because it is a huge wholesale and subject to opportunity for us, especially for beginners. We can deal with a very motivated seller base because in the last year or two, sellers haven't been as motivated as you've seen in 2013 and 2014. There's a lot more saturation in the market, and I'm just going to give you a disclaimer up front. Pre-foreclosures are very saturated when it comes to multiple markets. So if you're in Southern California, you're in Phoenix, Atlanta, there's going to be a lot of wholesalers actually marketing this list. But the opportunity still arises because if you can be at that seller at that perfect time when they make the decision to sell, you will get that deal. Now, another disclaimer here with these sellers is they haven't been paying their mortgage for 2 to 3 months. So they don't like to make decisions very quickly. And always, I'm going to say it, every real estate YouTuber is going to say this too. People in pre-foreclosure, they never make the decision to sell until basically the very, very last minute. And if you're the guy there when they make that decision, clock's ticking and you gotta get that deal. So these sellers are flakier than the average high equity or code violation one, but they are a great opportunity. How do we get pre-foreclosures lists? So a great one that we use is PropStream, listrei.com. If you want to use PropStream, don't want to plug that right now, but that's what we use to get our pre-foreclosures, you know, get vacant lists, people behind, low equity with the pre-foreclosures. You can do all that fun stuff. Do the same with ListSource too. ListSource has great information for pre-foreclosures. And sometimes, I'm just saying this sometimes because this coronavirus, some courts are closed, you can't get things. You could go to the county and get the pre-foreclosures list. I'm not too much of an expert on that, so I'm not going to shed too much light on that just because I use PropStream and it's a lot easier and we're dealing with 5 counties and our counties aren't really too much into getting the pre-foreclosures list. So we need to understand with pre-foreclosures is once they're designated as a that get the special title of pre-foreclosure, the clock is ticking. You have 3 to 4 months until the bank officially puts the crown over the head and says, this is a foreclosure, you're done. So the banks actually, I guess they're nice. They give you 3 to 4 months and say, hey, if you don't pay this in that time, we're taking everything over. So once that pre-foreclosure is designated as one, you got 3 to 4 months and the bank's going to take it over. Some sellers hire lawyers and they can spread it out longer. I've dealt with sellers that haven't paid their mortgage in like 14 months and nothing's happened. And they got other sellers that have been behind in 5 months and then they take everything over. It's honestly, you never know what's going to happen with these, but usually the time is ticking. And let's say you get something under contract on pre-foreclosure, they've been behind 3 months and you basically got 3 more months left. You market that property for 3 months and just hope something happens. It's got to be very quickly. So now we have the marketing list. We got it from PropStream, we got it from ListSource, we got it from the county website, and we're ready to go. We need to understand also that the wholesalers are everywhere and they're hammering these lists like crazy. So what are we going to do to be different? So we need to understand the mind of someone in the pre-foreclosure process right now. They are getting about, I would say, anywhere between 4 to 5 calls a day. One from the bank, one from a debt collector, one from a wholesaler, and then another one from a real estate agent, and then you're going to be the 5th one if you call them. Or, the 5th one is just another wholesaler or real estate agent. Everyone's hammering this list. It seems like it's a great secret, but it's really not. We want to be there during the time where they want to actually sell. So we could get lucky, but it's definitely a numbers game with these pre-foreclosures. So the marketing channels that are most effective for us would be SMS and door knocking. So you need to make your decision if you want to do full SMS with these pre-foreclosures, if you want to do full door knocking with them. You could cold call, it's just very difficult and these sellers get calls all the time. So they're experts at screening calls. So you could cold call them. I know people that cold call pre-foreclosures, they do very well, but I think it's just basically a waste of time. I think the SMS and door knocking is the best ones and those are very proven. After you decide which marketing channel you want to do for your pre-foreclosures, we need to get in touch with these sellers and get to know them and be nice. So either we sent the SMS list out or we door knocked them, and that's what we need to do. We're doing the SMS campaign now. And we want to use a simple template and do all the pre-foreclosures in our area. So something I'm going to put on the screen here is just a simple one. It's going to say this: hey Mary, this is Zach from Miami. I was looking at your house and I was seeing if you were interested in selling it. You could switch it up. There's a million templates to do. And if I tell you a template and you use it, everyone who watches this video is going to use it and the delivery rate's going to go very low. So use something unique with you. Just don't add something crazy like, hey, I saw you're behind on your payments. Let me buy your house. People get skittish. They don't like that. Don't stress them out. These people are very stressed. It's a very stressful time for them. This coronavirus is insane. Be the helping hand and the guiding light for your sellers and actually provide a solution. Don't be that hungry guy that wants to make 90K on a pre-foreclosure deal. It's not going to work. You need to be in your seller's best interest. You need to make win-win situations so you make money and they make money. Door knocking. Now, we need to be very, very careful. I have to create a million disclosures here. If you're door knocking at your own risk. You need to understand people are crazy, especially in America. I live in Florida. It's one of the craziest people ever in Florida. So I understand. I've door knocked before. It's not my favorite, but in other areas it could be better, be not. I mean, you need to understand the risks. People are insane, but if you're safe and you're willing to do it, really willing to hustle it out, and if it's in a nice neighborhood, so don't go to the ghettos or the projects and start door knocking those. It's not good. You got to have safer areas and just use common sense and be smart. This is just a quick disclaimer, guys. So you need to be careful with it. So when you're door knocking, there's multiple ways to do it. So, basically, so you just door knock on the house. You can make a list of, let's say, I'm going to door knock on 20. It's by the gym. Let me do a quick 20. Should take you about an hour to do. And you want to door knock, say knock, knock, knock. And, the person comes and answers. Hey, how's it going? Are you the owner of this house? And just create a conversation. there's multiple ways to do it, but talk about a conversation, say, hey, I really like this area. I'm looking to buy more houses here. Were you thinking about selling or something? Just create that nice, rapport, and don't be the guy like, hey, knock, knock, knock. I'm specifically outing you because I know that you're behind on your payments and I'm trying to buy the property from you cash. That ain't gonna work. So just be nice, make it more of a coincidence that, you're knocking on it. Another way you could do it is, I don't really use this method too much, but good buddy of mine, Pace Morby, he actually does something where he hires people to door knock. They're more like bird dogs, and they knock for him and they say, hey, I work for a company that provides solutions to selling a house. If you're ever wanting that, here's a note, something like that. And he's actually coming out with a great door knocking app. I don't know when that's coming out, but great guy. Check him out, Pace Morby. But he's really good at door knocking pre-foreclosures. That's one of his main ones, and he's really good at sub-twos with that. But that's another method. You need to understand once you get this conversation, and maybe maybe they say maybe later, and they call you and they want you to go on the appointment. You're going to want to understand a few things. You need to understand how many months they're behind on their payments. You're also going to need to understand their PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So if their principal is about $500, then they pay another $100 in interest. That's $600 in the mortgage, and then they pay $100 for insurance, and then taxes is like $50 to $100. Then everything's about $800, and that's the PITI. That we can get into sub-twos later, but if you want to do a subject to deal, then that is really good. So we understand that, so we can know if we have enough of a profit to actually get a sub-two deal. It's also good to know how long someone's behind, because if they're behind 5 months, you basically have maybe 1 to 2 months left, and that can get very stressful. And you need to understand what the equity the person has in the property, if they have equity at all, and to see if this is actually a good wholesale or subject to deal. The appointment, building rapport, and providing a solution for the seller. So either the solution is, we actually buy the property all cash and you try to wholesale it, and you try to get the seller a good, just walk away with the situation, maybe with some money in their pocket so they can start something new, or they walk away with nothing, or maybe if they're so negative in the equity, there might not be anything we can do, but maybe with a subject to deal, we can do this. So you just need to decide which one you want to do. The flow that we like to do here is we understand sub-twos pretty well here in Florida. We like lease options also. So either I'll go to the appointment talking about pre-foreclosures, say, oh, I'm so sorry you lost your job. You're looking to go to somewhere more cheaper, like a Louisiana or like Nebraska, something like that with family. How much money do you need to walk away with this? And then they say something crazy, you go back and forth, and then we decide they can walk away with about $4,000, and we make a nice wholesale deal, maybe make 10 to 15,000. These are killer deals with the pre-foreclosures, but they're really good for starting out. And if that works, but what if they owe $100,000 on it? They're behind on payments and they're stuck at like this 130 Zillow price, and there's multiple things wrong with the property. And we can go into the sub-2 route. Say if you want to take over payments on the property and maybe cash them out at a price that they like. Can't be too crazy though, but you need to understand which one that you need to do. Once we get the property under contract, we're either going to wholesale it or close, and we're going to rinse and repeat with this marketing strategy, guys. So this is Zach in Flip with Rick. We're talking about, just pre-foreclosures here, understanding it really well. I think it's a very great opportunity, especially in this market. Post-coronavirus, things are starting to open up right now. So pre-foreclosures are going to start rolling out. Obviously, I don't know what the president's going to do, what the legislation is going to come out in the future about pre-foreclosures or subject twos, especially in your state. I don't know what state you're in. Hopefully you're in Florida or another place that, you can do very well in your market. But guys, I've disclosed before, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA. Don't take my advice as, just the word that you need to go by, the law. Please, be advised with someone else if you want to start doing this. But, this is just to educate and inform you guys. So I really thank you for watching this video. Get started on pre-foreclosures. And if you have any questions, again, you can message me on Facebook, Flip with Rick, @Flip with Rick on Instagram. And I'll see you guys there. Thanks.